All right, let's dive right into the beautiful madness that is the Premier League's transfer deadline day. You know the drill, clubs are scrambling, rumors are flying everywhere, and there are literally billions of pounds at stake. This is the final countdown.
It all comes down to this one single date, September 1st. That's it. For every club in the league, this is the final whistle. It's their last chance to get their squad right for the season. The pressure is just immense, and every single minute that ticks by shuts another door.
You know, Newcastle's manager, Eddie Howe, just summed up the whole mood perfectly with this: everything is in play. And he's right. It's basically a massive, high-stakes poker game, where any player could be on the move, any deal could fall apart, and a team's entire season could change in just a few hours.
So let's kick things off with the big one, the hunt for those massive, headline-grabbing, game-changing players. This is where the top clubs really try to flex their muscles and land a genuine superstar. I mean, just look at the kind of talent being talked about here. You've got Newcastle's star striker, Alexander Isak, PSG's giant of a goalkeeper, Gianluigi Donnarumma, and the incredible young talent, Xavi Simons. These are the guys everyone is talking about, and England's biggest clubs are all battling to get a signature.
Let's just zoom in on this Isak situation for a second. So, Liverpool are reportedly pushing hard for the Swedish striker. They desperately want that big-name number 9, but they've slammed right into a brick wall. Newcastle is basically saying, nope, he's not for sale. It's the classic unstoppable force meets an immovable object.
And the hurdles are just huge, even for a club as big as Liverpool. First, Newcastle would want a monster fee. Then, you've got to navigate the tricky rules of financial fair play, which, are there to stop clubs from spending way more than they earn. And all of this with the clock just ticking away towards September 1st. It's a huge ask.
Okay, now let's see what happens when it's not just one club chasing a player, but a direct head-to-head fight. We're heading to North London, where a bitter rivalry is boiling over into the transfer market. Two clubs, one huge prize, from Crystal Palace.
So on one side, you've got Arsenal. They've apparently been keeping a very close eye on Eberechi Eze and his contract situation. But then on the other side, there are their biggest rivals, Tottenham, just lurking in the shadows, ready to make a move. It's the North London derby, but it's being fought with checkbooks, not on the pitch.
And this is the number that's at the heart of the whole battle. £68 million. That's the rumored release clause, and that figure alone just shows you how high the stakes are in this little tug-of-war. To get their guy, somebody's going to have to write a very, very big check.
So what exactly is a release clause? Well, to put it simply, it's kind of like a buy it now button. If a club like Arsenal or Spurs offers that $68 million, they get to skip talking to Crystal Palace altogether and go straight to the player. It's a really powerful tool, but boy, is it an expensive one.
But what happens when there is no buy it now button, when a straight cash deal just won't work? Well, this is where the clubs get really creative. And it leads to some of the absolute best drama of the window, the last-minute hijack and the complicated player swap.
Okay, let's talk about the Xavi Simons saga. Chelsea have apparently been pushing really hard and have even reportedly agreed on personal terms with him. But, and this is a big but, the deal isn't signed and sealed yet. And that little bit of hesitation, well, it cracks the door open for a dramatic twist.
And this is just the perfect playbook for a transfer hijack. It's so simple but so brutal. Step 1, a player agrees to join a club. Step 2, the talks over the final price drag on and stall. In Step 3, a rival, in this case Manchester City, smells blood in the water and explores a late bid to snatch the player right from under their nose. It is pure transfer market theater.
Now for a completely different tactic, the creative solution. Liverpool is also said to be interested in Crystal Palace's defender, Mark Guéhi. But instead of just throwing cash at them, we're hearing whispers of something a little more complex.
Yeah, the idea floating around is what's called a player plus cash deal. So Liverpool might offer a big chunk of cash, plus a player they already have, like Harvey Elliott, to make the deal happen and bring the total cost down. It's a pretty clever way to get a deal done, but it's worth saying. The sources on this one say to treat it with a bit of caution for now.
So, as we get into these last few nail-biting days, what are the key things you should be looking out for? Well, all these stories we've talked about, they all share the same kind of roadblocks that will decide if a deal actually happens or not.
Right, so whether we're talking about Isak, Eze, or Simons, it doesn't matter. Every club hits these same walls. Is the selling club's price realistic? Can the buyer actually afford it under FFP rules? Is a rival about to swoop in? And probably the most important one, what does the player actually want to do? All these things create this tangled web that has to be sorted out before anyone can hold up a new shirt.
And that leaves us with the one final thrilling question. With all of these moving parts, all this money on the table, and that clock just ticking relentlessly down, which domino is going to be the first one to fall and set off a wild chain reaction across the entire league? I guess we'll just have to wait and see.